this past Wednesday, and she basically said she'd get back to me Wednesday night or Thursday. So Thursday night or Thursday evening, I just text her, say, hey, just following up, you know, I'm thinking. And then that's when she texted me yesterday and said, well, I want to sign the contract and I want to give you the deposit, though you said there was an extra step. And I go, well, I mean, you just get on the website and you hit the links. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward. But,
Yeah.
Okay. What's up, man? Okay. Okay, I'll check it out. Okay. Alright, give me 1 second, okay?
staying busy?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Just being consistent.
No, that's
Even in my down moments, I'm finding constructivity.
for sure, right?
You know, and all that getting, you get an understanding, but you also get ready.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna tell you, there's a word that you need to really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
Expect it.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you know you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, so expect it. And that's where God will just open up the doors, like you just. Pastor Blunt wrote the book of The Power of Expectation,
Mm-hmm.
and man, I'll tell you, what, I'll get you a copy of it because I tell you, it's short reading. I mean, I'm not a big reader. I try, I read the Bible, but I mean, I'm not a big reader. Most of the time I listen to either podcast or books on audio, but while I'm working. But actually, I lost one of my earbuds last night. I'm thinking, well, I usually pop my earbuds in when I'm mowing the lawn. I got a riding lawnmower. And
Music or audio.
music or auto or whatever. Most of the time, I'll admit I'm listening to country music because I feel like, hey, that's my farming music.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I had this, and I knew better. I'm riding along and coming on the edge of the property, and there's this weed sticking out. I thought, well, you know what? I'll just run. Sure enough, it grabbed a hold of my neck and yanked my neck, and all of a sudden my right earbud disappeared. And I could not find it. It's like, oh man. I mean, they were nice Jabras, It's like, oh.
Who would have made, bro?
A Jabra.
A Jabra.
Yeah, Jabra. Yeah. I got them from. Actually, that was my new pair because the first pair I bought, I put the extended warranty in them. Replacement 2 years. Well. Those were my new pair. I was like, oh man. Well, they still work, with the left ear, but I like having both ears covered when I'm mowing the lawn or doing the leaf blower or something like that.
Understandable.
Yeah, so back to this job in Fenton, like I said, he texted me last night. He goes, you gonna be here tomorrow? I said, yes, sir. And he says, good, I got a question for you. And I'm thinking, okay, and then he goes, and that's when he says, well, he was reverting back to the conversation we had, like 3-4 months ago. It's like, okay, sir, well, then I knew it never fails. I go to bed, wake up in the morning, and I've got a solution, and it's like, okay, here we can do what you're wanting to do, but this is what's going to entitle, and you're probably going to, for lack of, he's going to triple his budget, it's just what it is. It's a lot of work and a lot of, but I mean, it's not going to, blow the budget to a level that, you know, they're uncomfortable with. You know what I'm saying? I just know that. But what he, like I said, what he's wanting, and what the money's the amount I'm thinking of is nominal compared to what a, you know, a full blown company. And I mean, I'm a full blown company. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying I don't have all that overhead and
Right.
salesmen and, you know, people
Keeping it simple.
People in the field.
Getting the foundational work done, but keeping it simple for
Right.
economical
Sure.
price.
Right. And when I'm done, they're like, "Oh my gosh!" And I go, "Yeah, that's what you're paying for." You know. Now, I've had too many subs tell me, you know, subcontractors tell me, "David, you leave too much money on the table." I go, "Well, you know, I'm comfortable. I pay my bills, and you know, I'm fine. You know, it's, you know, Dad keeps talking about the idea of profits, and I go, profits. You know, I just, you know, money above and beyond. It's like, well, you know what, it comes. I'm not, you know, I'm not looking to retire off that one job, so to speak. You know, you know, I've got like 14 jobs on the books right now, and you know, signing more contracts. You know, so in fact, I've got 2 more decent sized ones that are shoot, they're upwards of 40 grand. You know, between the 2 of them, over 40 grand, and I mean, you know, there's subs involved, and that's where my wife goes, "Well, are you telling me you're gonna net for it?" I said, "Well, no, of course not. I mean, it's, you know, it's part of being a general contractor." She just doesn't understand that part of it yet. It's like, "Well, sweetie, I can't do everything. I don't even want to think about doing everything. You know, I'm a carpenter, and I stay in my lane. You know, I could do outside, you know, do other things outside carpentry work. Try to
Stick to your gift.
yeah. I just had 2 8-foot pocket doors delivered, and then a regular door. They all match. This is for the fence job. I picked up a 7-foot commercial door that I'd ordered Home Depot. That finally came in. And then who owns that building with the 7-foot commercial door? I've got a front entrance door and an exterior rear entrance door that just came in. I mean, that's where I really make my money. I'll admit, it's doing door work. I actually, my brother, probably 6 years ago, he goes, you seem to do pretty much about with doors. I said, well, yeah. He goes, maybe I ought to think of the door whisperer. And I went, ooh, I like that. So I Googled it. Somebody already had it. Like, oh man, you know, because that would have been, I could have done that as a company inside a company, you know.
You can call it something else.
Yeah, but the door whisperer was just, yeah, you're right.
I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm gonna be blunt.
Sure. Yeah.
Coming from a broadcast background, and hearing like the dog whisperer. And
Sure.
I got a lady friend that's married that has a company called, you know, the Hair Whisperer.
Okay.
And
you think it's kind of beat?
Yeah, like
dead horse?
I won't say beating a dead horse. Like the whisperer thing kind of ran its course.
I understand.
Like you know, it's like saying pancakes, and now everybody got something called a cake.
Right. No, I understand.
A grit cake, salmon cake, crab cake. You know.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Like you got something on the inside of you that nobody's ever heard before pertaining to doors.
Yeah.
You do.
Yeah.
And once you find a word and you put that in front of that, there you go. It's new, it's genuine, nobody got it, you can trademark it, and everybody gonna do it.
Well, I can tell you, my palette creations is definitely, you know, we're still on ground level, but I know it's gonna explode. In fact, actually, I gotta run this by you. I'm gonna get your honest opinion on it, because I know you'll give it to me.
Yeah.
My wife has gotten, you know, now that marijuana has become legal, she wanted to open up a smoke shop, and I don't mean selling it, but you know, like a bar type situation down in the city. Well, I talked to an attorney. He goes, "Well, David, you're not smoking. You know, it's not legal to smoke it in public." And I went, "Okay." So turn around, 2 2 bars opened up down in the city.
So look,
Go
because
ahead.
my camera running. My camera's rolling.
Oh.
Hookah bar is illegal. Hookah. Let's do hookah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, make a hookah bar.
Oh,
Shisha.
oh.
Yeah, shisha.
I get you.
Yeah, you know.
I get you.
CBD's legal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here's what I'm getting ready to get that building. It's 4,100 square foot there in Ferguson, And I told her, I said, here's what we can do. Truthfully, I don't need all 4,000 square feet, but I want the building. I don't want somebody else coming in there and, being adjacent to me. I want to have the building.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, I'll tell you what. I said, let's section off 1,000 square foot of that 4,000. And I said, you go to Ferguson and you tell them what, you do the research and you build it. I said, because I'll be honest with you, I told her, I said, I don't want nothing to do with it myself.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she just said, well, there's just going to be so much to be money to me. And I go, I understand what you're saying, but I want to make my money. I want to make my money the way I want to make it.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to make my money
Yeah, that way.
that way.
Meditation.
Yeah, I just, So. And it's funny when you mentioned hookah, because I know my daughter lives in California when she was still living here, and she actually moved in with my parents for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to bring her hookah in. My dad goes, I don't think so. It's not coming in the house. Of course, he didn't understand it. And he's of a generation, different generation. But there again, too, I mean, all I can say is my God changes not. Period. End of story. So I mean, I understand different generations, or have different. We played the hide and go seek and spin the bottle when I was a kid, and obviously now it has evolved. It's no doubt.
What I can say is that people's understanding of God has to change. Because if God doesn't change, if He always is and ever was, why did He create it?
Well,
Every seed bearing fruit is made for seed. Every seed bearing fruit is made for seed.
Yeah.
So that means that if there's a masculine plant or there's a feminine plant, if it makes a seed, you can eat it.
Sure.
And then in the garden, everything was more plush, so it got to be some of those was there then. And that was way bigger. And that's probably way more smellier.
Yeah. No, I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
And they have a medicinal use.
But I know that Jesse Duplantis, the evangelist I follow down in New Orleans, and I please don't take this that I'm correcting in any way, shape, or form, but he always did make the mention, because he alluded to he was live on a TV program with someone, and they were quoting scripture, and they were talking about the idea of drinking alcohol, and it says in the Bible that don't be sober, be sober, period.
Sober minded,
right. So the way he put it, and I definitely have adopted that myself. He just said, don't look for the scripture to appease your flesh. Look for the scripture to crucify your flesh. And it's like, whoa, that's pretty strong, That's some strong words. So
that makes sense.
So that's where I told the wife, I said, listen, we get the building and you wanna do something like that, then you do what you want, But that your half of the building, and my half of the building's gonna be for my pallets. I'll admit I like the way you trimmed my mustache the last time, so I'm trying to mimic it.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, I like it. Well, I'm a hands-on
learner.
I mow my own lawn and I wash my own cars, what I'm saying? I'm a hands-on
type of person.
Yeah. Well, it's my decompression time, period.
Yeah, decompression is always good, It helps you with re-energizing yourself and realigning yourself. Not so much. Yeah, leave that a little bit. There you go. Gotta get that bottom part. So the key to making the, call it the Pringles mustache, the Pringles stash, bottom to top, and then make the top angle down.
Oh, okay.
And then turn it a certain way. And turn it upside down like that. You can hit it better. You can either smash it down or hit and go up. I do a mixture of both. Hit and go up and get the hairs down because the blade vibrates in a certain angle.
Right.
So I can make the indentation line going down and then scrape up to get all the rest of the hairs up.
Oh, okay.
So it makes it cleaner. This makes sense though. That particular herb used to be mixed with Montonic gold and colloidal silver to make the elixir of life that's supposed to help you live longer.
Okay.
In the Samaritan scrolls it talked about the Anunnakis,
Okay.
Enki, Anu, and Enlil, and a host of family members called the Elohim.
Okay.
And when they came here to repair the atmosphere, and they created a host of beings called the Igigi before they created the next batch of technically slaves that were helping the mine for gold to repair the Earth's atmosphere.
Sure.
They had created something called the elixir of life that they used to take because they were tall and big and it helped them live longer.
Okay.
And that particular herbal ingredient was one of the main ingredients that was a part of the elixir.
Well, I know I could tell you what, when I can show you some pictures of a project I just finished for Dr. Yaki, and they had something going on, and it almost, I'll tell you, it was so strong, it kind of was taking my breath away a little bit. I don't know what, and that's what he's into, you got to see all the
Herbal healing.
herb stuff that he has that's on the back part, that, they mix things and whatever, what you're talking about.
For healing. I think it's time that, mankind works on healing himself, becoming more of tapping into more of the healing virtue.
Well, they definitely, big pharma, that's what, because that's like what Doc, I did I told him, I just, my wife goes, you told him that? I go, well, yeah, I told him that. I said, Dr. Arquillas, I'll tell you, I watched some YouTubes, I did some research. I said, now I know who I'm dealing with. I said, and that's what I think I mentioned it to you before. I said, watch me work, and then you'll, and he has, he's just blown away, because he's got the knowledge of what he does, but obviously with what I do, it's not to say he doesn't have the basic, but he was just completely mesmerized. He just says, man, you got a gift, David. I go, well, and see, that's where I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm slowly but surely I don't want to say slipping in, but it's just the idea of, I talk more about Jesus around him more than anything.
Oh, he's a very decorated scholar.
Yes.
when it comes to breaking down the scriptures and the text.
Okay.
And most of what he does is because of the text, the scriptures.
Okay. Well, see, I mean, I wouldn't have this open of a conversation with him, because I don't have that type of relationship with him, obviously. So you're definitely enlightened me.
Yeah, see, like we call what you call Jesus, Yeshua HaMashiach.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of look at him a bit differently in reference to his texture of his skin. So the scriptures do give an accurate description of what he looked like. And they practice the Hebrew holidays and the Hebrew calendar rather than the Gregorian calendar.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm definitely learning. I mean, I'm an open book. I'm not. I mean, unless it goes against scripture, I'm going to listen. If I hear something that kind of makes me wince, because I know that it's against scripture, then I'm shutting down because I'm not going to listen to it. I might listen to an open forum as the idea of possibly, and I couldn't. There's no way I can understand the way they're thinking or what they're saying, but I can kind of at least see the words that they're using, so then I know that okay, well you're coming from here. Okay, that's cool. Because I mean that's where unfortunately most people misunderstand the idea. God gave we've talked about it. God gave us our free will. You make your choices. This is here.
You answer that?
No, that's I've got so many business calls that come in, and then they won't even leave voicemails. Like, well, it says certain offices, then leave a voicemail. Or we can give you. We've got a loan set up for you for $500,000. I go, well, okay, well, thank you, but no, thank you.
I think I wanna drop a nugget on you right quick.
Yeah.
The name Jesus, right?
Mm-hmm.
When it goes back, and I watched the documentary, and I also kind of looked at the scriptures too. IESUS, ISIS.
Yeah.
In Greek, IESUS.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the Greek culture, put a Z on the I and made that Zeus.
I follow you.
As in Jesus.
Yeah.
In Spanish, they say Jesus.
Uh-huh.
And before that, it was IESOS. And so it went from Kemet, right? From Isis, who was the queen mother with the wings spread out.
Okay.
Who was the queen mother, and Ra was the father, right?
Okay.
Of the birth of the children. The first Trinity was the mother, the son, the mother, father, and the son, which represented the family Trinity.
Sure.
Then it went from Isis, and then when Rome conquered Africa and took all the knowledge, and they transferred the name, and then you have IESUS, which would look like ISIS, but then it would kind of look like ISUS if you were saying it in English. If I wasn't speaking my native tongue in English, my dialect would be way different. So my dialect would probably be African, or in my family we got Haitians, and we got some of my ancestors are Nigerian.
Sure.
And from the Igbo tribe. So my dialect would sound different if I said that same name.
Okay.
So what I'm believing is that it went from that name, and they retranslated the name from ISIS, IESUS, to IESOS, and then it became JESUS. If you put all the names together, you take the vowels and the consonants out, you have the root meaning of the word. And when I sat there and looked at that, and I looked at the picture of Isis with the wings, with the sun disk and the caduceus,
Right.
and her hands spread out like this. I seen the picture of Jesus on the cross with his hands spread out like this and the crown. I said, there's something in that imagery right there.
Oh,
Because the crown represents the crown of life, the thorns. And when they crucified, he actually ascended before his flesh was crucified, but he ascended. His spirit ascended.
Right.
He went through an ascension. They was trying to prevent him from going through his natural ascension. That prevention of going through your natural ascension is the reason why there's gatekeepers. Gatekeepers, when you try to ascend beyond your flesh body, work to keep you in your flesh body. You got gatekeepers that release you to make your chakras go upward into enlightenment, to be an ascended master, and then you have gatekeepers that keep your chakras closed so you stay in the flesh and don't become an ascended master.
I follow you. I know. Well, I had a lot of people that was hammering me on Facebook when I was talking about Jesus, and then they said the letter J. And all I know is in my heart, I know who I'm. Whether
Who you representing?
Yeah,
you represent Christ.
Right. So it's like
We on the same page.
Right. Yeah.
And you got to remember, Christ, because of the spirit, is a consciousness, and that consciousness can ascend beyond religion.
Oh.
Because when Jesus said, "I go to prepare a place," and then he said that he was coming back, he wasn't talking about in his physical form. He was talking about
his spiritual form, Christ.
Christ.
Yeah.
So the Christ, which is the Holy Spirit, is a spirit of wisdom and a spirit of, because it's represented as being a gentleman. It's represented as being the spirit of love, and it also represents the heart, because it deals with you from the heart and then speaking out of your mouth, according to Romans 10:9, where it says, if you believe, what do you say? If you confess out your mouth and believe in your heart. And then it says that Jesus Christ is Lord, but the word Christ is the most important part of that.
Sure.
Because that's the function of what he is.
Right.
And every month we have something called a Christ oil that comes from the vagus nerve. It comes from a part of the brain. It drips down, goes down the spinal column, hits the root, comes back up. If you don't squander it, then you have that awakening. So everybody is a Christ.
Well,
Everybody can have a Christ awakening.
Yes, I agree with you totally on that. Yes, yeah. Cool, boss. Yeah.
That's why he was talking about the parables about the body. The parables about being holy in your body. Be ye holy, for I am holy.
Right.
Being holy in your body, you are preserving your spiritual essence in your body, and every time you sin, you're losing a bit of it. We on the same page.
Oh yeah, I hear you. Well, no, I knew I could talk with you about. I'm going to say Dr. Yaki without having that, because I'm still learning on that end of it. Let's be realistic. Come on, I grew up out of Harvester. I mean, it's country. It's just we didn't have the. I'm going to say it, the diversity of.
I got you. The diversity of culture.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to tell you, we had, my class president in high school was Keith Perkins.
Okay.
And he was an African American. Now, mind you, we were 99% white at Francis Howell, of course.
Yeah.
But Keith was awesome. He was. I wonder what I never did do any research, see whatever happened with him, because I'm sure he did something. Because just being around him even back, in the late '80s, that just piqued my interest there. I'm gonna do a little research, see if I can find him, because that'd be cool to
catch up with your old buddy.
Yeah.
You got people I went to elementary school. I think about
So get this. So this job I'm doing down in